What it do, bitch ass crew? KFC, Chris Blake's crew, sit the hell down, man, because we got ranking the top 30 NBA players of all time. Video by Austin Sweat. So I typically like his ranking videos. He always explains himself and stuff like that. So it's very important to do, man. So yeah, here we go. Top 30 NBA players of all time. Hopefully he puts respect on my Detroit Pistons. Should probably have Isaiah Thomas up there, in the top 30. Probably Chauncey Billups, maybe in the low 20s, somewhere like that. Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince. I'm expecting those four players to be on the list somewhere. But besides for that, man, I need you guys to do me a quick favor, drop a like on this video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. We gotta go 200,000 subscribers by the time the NBA playoffs are over with. So help me reach that goal. Thank you all so much. Here we go, man.
Now that we went through every position and ranked,
Tayshaun might be a bit of a reach.
We're mashing them all together and ranking the top 30 players of all time, at least in my opinion. We did the same for current players, and I wasn't even sure I was going to make this all-time one. But it's been getting requested a lot, so here we go.
Here you go.
Keep in mind, just like every ranking video, everyone's got their own opinions on their lists. I'm going to do my best explaining why I ranked each player where, but if you disagree, okay, just go ahead with your hate comments.
That's 100% that's always the thing right there, man. It's no matter, even if you tell people please don't dislike because you don't like my opinion, you still get people out there that just get so upset and so caught up in their feelings, man. To the point where it's almost embarrassing. Imagine you're that upset, bro. It's basketball, man. It's a sport. We all love it and everything, but if you get that hurt feelings over stuff like that, man, you probably the dude on the school bus, bro, sitting in the corner by themselves, man.
Number 30, John Stockton.
Oh.
All-time leader in steals, all-time leader.
Hell no, man!
Defender, solid scorer. And
oh.
Today we're looking at 10 NBA players.
Even the video didn't want to be there, bro. You got John Stockton at 30? Bro, he's nothing but a Ricky Rubio. He's Ricky Rubio with a better power forward, man. Ricky Rubio, who do you got to work with? Damn, Dario Saric? It's I freaking stop taking Steve Nash over this man right here, guys. Another pass first point guard. This man had Karl Malone. He had the mailman. Steve Nash was great because he had Amari Stoudemire. Could you imagine if Steve Nash had Karl Malone? Bro, literally your job was to steal the basketball. Okay, I'll give you props on that. You were good at that, aspect of the game. But as far as, bro, I could average about 12 assists per game just dishing at Karl Malone. I used to love playing with great big guys. Used to absolutely love him, man. And you could just toss the ball into them and they would score and you would feel great about yourself. But, if you're playing with a trash-ass player, then it's going to reflect in your numbers. Yeah, I don't agree with this.
Stockton. All-time leader in steals, all-time leader in assists, great defender, solid scorer, and was a perfect second option on what should have been a championship Jazz team. If
they had a better point guard, they would have won a championship.
29, John Havlicek. Havlicek doesn't get talked about often, but there's
this guy was a beast.
He's still one of the best two-way players the NBA has ever seen. Averaged 29, 9, and 7 in his best season.
Bro, everybody grabbing his hip all the time. This ain't the damn prom.
28, Allen Iverson. When I was putting together this list, I wasn't sure whether or not AI was going to make the cut, but he did end up making it. League MVP.
Well, yeah, of course. Number 28 seems a little low.
One of the greatest scorers ever. It would have been tough leaving him off this list. Number 27, Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah over AI.
Isaiah Thomas? Bro, you just put the show on. Now you ain't gonna have damn Chauncey on this list now. Because Isaiah's the best point guard in Piston history, followed by Chauncey. So you got him at 27. 27, man? Come on now.
Thomas was like the original Chris Paul. He was an elite defender, and even though he didn't put up the numbers that Iverson did, he was a true leader and led his team to victory, which was how under him they won 2 straight championships. 26.
Use his
Kawhi
teammates.
Leonard. I know, bit of a controversial one here. Everyone likes to shit on Kawhi because he sits out games, and some people say he's better than LeBron, which leads to a whole debate. But it's hard to argue against Leonard here, because the only
you can't really compare the two. They're both at different ages and different times.
Aside from that, though, he's one of the best two-way players ever.
Prime LeBron is better than Prime Kawhi.
Defense, and is averaging 27 a game these days on offense. Plus, he's
won 2 Defensive
Player Awards, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 championships, leads his team to wins wherever he goes, and does everything else from passing to shooting. I think as the years go on, only gonna rank higher, but for now, he still does make it in the top 30. 25, Scottie Pippen. So this one's weird because to me, Kawhi's the better overall player. He's about the same as Pippen on defense and is the much better offensive player. But for now, I had to rank Scottie slightly higher because of his 6 rings. 24.
But that's the thing. It's so are we going based off of skill or rings? You know what I'm saying, man? It's that's the issue with top lists sometimes, is that I think that you need to have one deciding factor. Okay, this is gonna be the top list based off of skill, or this is gonna be the top list based off of rings. Because damn, we better see Robert Ory on here then, right?
Elgin Baylor.
Over Karl
He's an
Malone.
all-time great and one of the best players of all time, with him averaging 38 and 18 in his
I wonder if
prime.
Dirk's gonna be
Would
on here.
rank higher, but the fact that he never won a championship
Kevin
does
Garnett.
drop him down a bit. Number 23, Dwayne Wade. I know this seems like an odd place to have Wade, but after a lot of back and forth,
I'm
this
cool
is where
with
I
it.
felt that he should be ranked. If you look back, prime, especially 2060 Wade, was
Third best
probably
shooting
that
guard of all
very
time.
few other players have ever done. Then after his prime as a second option to LeBron James, for the most part he made the transition into that role look pretty effortless. And that's not something all-stars can do. Plus, he really was one of the most
Superstars
complete
looking
shooting
to it.
guards that there ever
Oh, we meant
was.
like all
An
stars,
excellent
okay.
Scorer, great passer, solid rebounder, and a great shot blocker. His 2 championships with LeBron helped his ranking some, but his
Love using him in
2006
2K.
ring is what took him to the next level. Number 22, Moses Malone. Moses rarely ever gets the credit he deserves in conversations like these, but he deserves it. One of the greatest rebounders of all time.
Like his
And
name.
Even though he never won a championship, he probably would have if he hadn't bounced around 7 different teams in his.
Wait, is that true? I thought Moses won it. I could be wrong. I thought Moses won a championship, but I could be wrong about that. Like, listen, man, I wasn't alive, back in was probably the 70s, 80s, right? But I'm pretty sure he got one. I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
NBA career. And I say that because even though he did, he still won 3 MVP awards. 21. David Robinson. If it's not
21.
Moses, then David is definitely the most underrated center in NBA history. He wasn't a fancy player or anything, but he could literally
general.
do everything on the court, which was how he won 2 NBA championships, a league MVP, was a defensive player of the year, scoring champ, rebounding leader, and a blocks leader at one point. Number 20.
I feel like Andre Drummond's done all that.
Guys like LeBron James refer to Dr. J as a top 5 NBA player of all time. And during his prime, maybe, but a lot of that was spent in the ABA. So he did lose some rankings because of that. Number 19, Charles Barkley. As a 6'6" power forward, most players would be at a disadvantage.
The round mound
But
and
even
rebound.
with
That was my
Barkley
nickname in
was
high
bigger
school.
and stronger than
Minus
most
the
other
rebound.
power forwards in the league at the time.
I was just
Most
the
notably,
round
though, he
mound,
won a
unfortunately.
1993 MVP award over Michael Jordan. Then
Non-basketball
he played 6
related.
games in the NBA Finals. Even as he got older, though, he found ways to dominate without as much pure athleticism. 18, Kevin Garnett. Some people have Charles Barkley over KG, but I couldn't do it. I have Garnett as a top 4 power forward. of all
T-Wolf's
time. He also
KG
won
was a
MVP,
damn problem,
helped
bro.
his team win a championship. Did everything
Nasty.
else just as good as Barkley except score, but Kevin was a much better overall player.
When I was a mini flake and I would watch KG back in the day on the Timberwolves, I just watched him in so much awe. Like any single time he pulled up from top of the key or whatever, I always thought it was going in, and it pretty much did.
Because of his defense and his ability to shoot the ball. In KG's early days, he was a monster, and if the Wolves would've
Sucks in
gotten
2K,
more help,
bad
he
jump
wouldn't have
shot.
needed to go to Boston to win his championship. 17, Karl Malone. The fact that Malone's not even in the top 15 shows just how much talent we've seen throughout the history of the league. And he is a big step up from Kevin Garnett, with the 2 MVPs and the flat-out dominance over the 20 years that he played.
KG's got a ring though.
But we just couldn't rank him over Dirk Nowitzki at 16, and it's something that I talked about in my all-time power forward ranking video, because Dirk won a championship on his own over the guy who at the time was the best player in the league. But Malone couldn't, and in fact, Dirk almost won 2 titles.
With
if the
NBA grade, you gonna do with
2006
NBA grade
finals
John
wouldn't have been
Stockton.
rigged. So that and changing the game the way he did is why I put Nowitzki slightly over Karl Malone.
Yo, he's a lefty.
15, Jerry West. A lot of people have West right outside their top 10, and that's believable. He really was that good, but what made me drop him down a bit was the fact that he has a 1-8 record in the NBA.
Damn, that's
Finals.
horrible.
14, Oscar Robertson.
Wow, 1-8?
Most
That's
everyone said I
embarrassingly
found him
bad.
to Oscar Robertson at 11. It was like everyone was agreed that that's where he belonged. Maybe 10 or so years ago, though, because some new players have come up and he's dropped down a bit, at least in my mind. Like number 13 with Kevin Durant. Honestly, it's sad to say, but depending on how he comes back from his Achilles tear, this may be as high as he climbs on the all-time rankings. He's got a lot of competition ahead of him, so if the injury takes away even a little bit of his game, that might be enough to prevent him from moving up any. But the career he's
We'll
had
see
up
the rest
until
of the
this point is
list.
so great. He's already cemented his legacy as one of the best players of all time,
One of the best
most
scorers,
unstoppable
straight up.
players of all time, and one of the best scorers ever. We've never seen someone like him score at such a high volume while being so
He might be the
efficient.
best
And
natural
don't forget,
scorer.
He's also a very underrated defender. Plus, okay, even though we can all agree that his championships really don't mean much, he's still got 2 in the record books, and we can't take that away from him. Number 12, Steph Curry. A bit of a controversial one here.
Over
Not
damn
only
Kevin
do we have him
Durant?
this close to the top 10, which some people don't agree with, but we also have him over Kevin. Well, for having him over KD...
See, Curry is a fantastic player. He's definitely a top point guard of all time. But I mean, some of the teams he's been on, I know he's been the leader of a lot of those teams too, but even the one with Kevin Durant, I don't know, man. I don't know if I got Curry over Durant or not. I don't know, man.
Steph won 2 MVPs, and if KD
What do you all think?
joined the Warriors when he did, it could have been more with that streak he was on. And he won a championship of his own on his own against LeBron. Not even to mention that he's one of the only guys that you can say, for the most part, is just as efficient as Durant. Steph's never had a Finals MVP.
Right, it's crazy you don't have one, a Finals
He was
MVP.
the first option slightly over Curry. But when you look at all-time legacy, I think Steph still tops him. And that brings us to why he's so close to the top 10. Well, for one, I mean, he's been better than every other player mentioned before him, including Oscar Robertson, who, like I said, is or was almost unanimously.
What if Kawhi gets
everyone's
3 Finals
player.
MVP with
And
3
for
different
what he's
teams,
done for the
though?
game, it was an easy choice to include him here. I wouldn't have put him any higher, though, because at 11, we have Hakeem Olajuwon. I know this is way too low for Hakeem. I understand how underrated he is and how he doesn't get enough credit for how good he was. It's nothing against him, it's just that with the players ahead of him, somebody had to be dropped down, and it had to be him. It'll make more sense when we see the rest of the list, though. But for Hakeem, no center ever had the combination of offense.
Yeah, we don't got prime
defense,
Dwight
and
Howard on
true
here.
skill that he had on the court, which were the main factors.
Tell
that
me you're taking John
contributed
Stockton
to
over
him
prime
deserving
Dwight
this
Howard?
spot. Number 10, we have Wilt Chamberlain. And I know, again, same thing. Most people have Wilt Chamberlain like 5th or 6th. And when mapping out this list in my head, that's where I thought I was going to have him, because he was the most dominant player.
Bro, those
of his
headbands are
era
weird.
and
Y'all
of
see those
any
headbands?
era.
It's almost like a bandana, like for your eyes. Like literally, like if you just want to like take a nap or something, like during halftime, you just pull it down. I mean, be a little sweaty.
His
Probably
lack
sting
of
a little bit, too.
championships, though, against Bill Russell, was an excuse that I did have for dropping his ranking. That wasn't a problem for number 9, though, in Tim Duncan, who, without question, is unanimously.
I think he should be
pretty
top
much in
6.
everyone's top 10 players list. It's really hard to ever see anyone topping the career that Tim Duncan had as a power forward. I mean, I say that as Giannis could very well be on his way to his second.
Oh, I hope we don't got
MVP,
Giannis on the
25
list over
years
Tim
old, but
Duncan.
Still, Duncan was the total package. Even
punch my
coming
computer
into the
screen.
league. He came in averaging 20 and 11, was dominant on both ends, and already winning championships early on.
And he did till he was
Honestly,
70.
He kept up that theme for most of his career, ultimately winning 2 MVPs, 5 championships, made the all-defensive first team 8 times, while being an all-time great leader and arguably the best all-around power forward ever. And even though he didn't play like a true superstar like LeBron or Michael Jordan, there's no doubt that he still was one.
He was a
Number
fundamental
8,
superstar.
Shaq. Okay, I had to rank Shaq higher than Wilt, mainly because I'm not taking anything away from Wilt, but you don't think that
Damn,
if
he
you
looks-
got Shaq in the
he looked
60s,
very
that he
pouty.
also would have averaged 50 a game?
Yo, y'all see that Shaquille O'Neal meme that's been going around? It's like it's like you say something, then you rhyme it with O'Neal. Mine was Shaquille O'Neal likes the 98 Detroit Pistons uniforms. Shaquille O'Teal. I don't understand the meme one bit, but that's just first one that came to my mind.
There's no doubt that he would have. And Tim could easily be switched out for Shaq here, but I gave this one to O'Neal because even though he had a much shorter prime than Duncan did, Shaq's prime was
Damn, he's looking like nobody's
much
business,
better.
actually.
And he actually did play like a true superstar. Number 7, another controversial one here. 7 for Kobe Bryant is pretty high on the top 30
Happy
list,
birthday,
I know,
Kobe.
But here's
42nd birthday day, guys.
Slightly better player during their 3-peat together. I'll admit that. But keep in mind, at that time, Kobe was around 22 years old. So that's like today, Jason Tatum playing alongside LeBron, and all the fans trying to determine who's better. The fact that there was even a discussion for that based on
Boston
where these
Celtic
guys
fans
were
would
in
say
their
Tatum.
careers, a lot on how good Kobe was. Also, Bryant won
No
2
doubt would
titles,
say
made
Tatum.
3 finals appearances after Shaq, while Shaq only won 1 thanks to Dwayne Wade. So that's why I have him over Shaq. The 5 titles for me puts him over Wilt, and Tim Duncan could have easily ranked over Kobe, but since I had to put Kobe over Shaq and Shaq over Tim Duncan, it just ended up like this. Number 6, Bill Russell. So as you'll see, the top 6 is where things get pretty easy. Now think of Bill Russell as the
them
old
wings.
version of Tim Duncan. Didn't get crazy stats compared to other guys of his time, but always led his team to championships. Just like Tim could beat Shaq and guys like LeBron, Russell did the same thing to guys
I'd rather see a player put up conservative superstar numbers, and win tons of championships and just play into the team, landscape and stuff, as opposed to putting up like superstar numbers and never winning anything. Like James Harden.
like Wilt
Just to
Chamberlain.
point one out,
Number 5,
not throwing
shout out
shots.
to Larry Bird. And some people discredit Bird and put him lower, but for who he was right behind Magic Johnson the whole way. Magic was always slightly better, but not
Bro, what is
by
that?
much,
Is that
and
Patrick Ewing?
not
What's he
by
doing on
enough to rank
defense?
anyone in between these two, which of course means Magic Johnson comes in at number 4. And there's no arguing. 5-time champ, 3-time MVP.
Who got a
and honestly will
3?
Probably always be the greatest point guard of all time. I mean, can you imagine the
Who am I
dominance and
forgetting?
career a player would have to pass Magic for this spot? We saw Steph Curry change the way the entire game is played. And
Jordan,
he got up to
LeBron.
number 12. Number 3, Kareem.
Kareem,
Six-time
that's what I was
six-time
forgetting.
NBA champ, 6-time MVP.
Crispy
and
Kareem.
let's not forget, Magic wouldn't have his without Kareem. The same could be said for Kareem though. But his entire career ranks him ahead of Johnson. Never lost a game in college, 3-time NCAA champ, completely dominated in Milwaukee, then proved to do the same for the Lakers, giving him one of the greatest careers ever. Then number 2 goes to LeBron. And LeBron's definitely the second greatest player of all time. He didn't have the second greatest career of all time, but he's the second greatest that we've ever seen.
See, I disagree with that statement. I feel like from a talent standpoint, LeBron is better than Jordan. I feel like LeBron is the most talented player we've ever seen. From up to down, you know, the scoring, rebounding, defense, passing, you know, playmaking, stuff like that, man. But I think Jordan has had the better overall legacy / career. I think that's fair to say at this point. I feel like LeBron is the most talented player. But then again, Jordan did a lot with less as far as just like his athleticism and stuff. Like LeBron's a freak of nature athlete that we've never seen before. And Jordan was just kind of like, I mean, yeah, he was like 6'6" and stuff, but he was like athletic. But I mean, it wasn't like a freak of nature athleticism as far as like looking at him, right? Like he just kind of like, I mean, his was all just like, you know, work ethic and stuff like that.
I mean, nobody expected him to play this good this long, and it's still hard to believe. You know,
I
thought
did.
Maybe this year playing with AD,
I knew
he'd
it.
take the role as a second option to AD and start.
The day
playing
I saw him,
Dwayne
I was like,
Wade
he'll be
did
playing
when
till
they
he's
played
90.
together. But no, instead he becomes his team's actual point guard, leads the league in assists, and his points per game only dropped a little bit, even though he's doing all that and making that transition. So he hasn't dropped off a bit. Then number 1, Michael Jordan. If you enjoyed the video, though, like and subscribe. And
All right,
for
fair
anything-
enough. Fair enough. Not no words needed for MJ out there, guys. What do y'all think about this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.